important is that seeding from your perspective?
Well, obviously it's important, but you want to be as high as you can. The big deal is the bye. You want to get the bye. You want to stay out of the 8 or 9. So if we drop to 11, I think that's our only other. We can't get to 10 for some reason in the tiebreak. Okay, well, 11, you have to play that first day, and then, okay, you play the 6 the next day if you win, and then a 3, and, when I was at Gonzaga, it seemed like we were always an 11 seed. We always ended up playing a 6 and then a 3, and then did quite well in that position. So this time of year, it doesn't matter. You just want to keep playing. Told the team today we could play as few as 3 games the rest of the year. We're guaranteed, I believe, 3. But, any win we get now, you're talking almost a seed line with each win. If we can stack some wins together, one on Sunday and then 1 or 2 or however many in the Big Ten tournament, each one of those probably moves us up, a seed line. So that's the great thing about being in a conference like this. You have opportunities at the end of the year to better your position. Not necessarily worsen your position, but better it for sure.
I guess how has the finality of this season kind of been reached by the team of like, hey, we're at this point here where now there's a game on Sunday and then you're going to go to the Indianapolis and then probably the NCAA tournament. How does that kind of settle with these guys? Hey, we're there, and these games obviously decide how much further you play.
Yeah, well, we talked about that after the game against Purdue. I thought that was an important win for us. And we talked about it again today. And we proceeded here a few minutes ago to complete maybe our best practice of the year. I think our kids were on point, both ends of the floor, all across both teams, the white team and the green team. And you can tell they have that attitude of, they can see where we're at and where we are in the season. And they were really focused today. It was awesome to see. Awesome to see. So hopefully it's they're figuring out that this is important, man. We've got a lot to play for, and it's that time of year.
Do you feel like you're playing your best basketball? Like we mentioned before, you want to play your best basketball in February and March. That big win, having your best practice. Feel like you're playing your best basketball now?
Maybe not, but we're playing good basketball. If we can win Sunday, that means we will have won 7 of our last 10. Which means we are playing pretty well. We have a couple good quality wins in there against NCAA tournament teams, and I think we're playing pretty well. I thought the Indiana game was just a blip. We didn't play well, and and they did and made us pay. But I like where we're at. And the Purdue game was a good example. We're better when we have multiple threats. We had, I think, 6 players score 8 or more points. And that's when we're at our best, when we're not just relying on 1 or 2 or 3 to have big nights. And, we got back to kind of the things that have been good to us throughout the year. We picked them up in the three-quarter court a lot more, created some turnovers, got some easy baskets. We kind of got conservative and got away from that a little bit. That's my fault. But I think we're better when we can create off our defense, set the tone, shorten their possession time in the half court where we've struggled a little bit as of late. So, it was, and then we got to more moving the ball, not keeping it in 1 or 2 players' hands and setting things up for them. I don't know, we kind of put it all together the other day.
What's been, I guess, maybe the biggest challenge of playing without Mia, and where did you see the most growth from Indiana to the Purdue game in that regard?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the biggest, before every game, I put my game sheet together, and one of the things I put on it are crunch time. I list 5 plays that we're going to run at crunch time, and when I do that, usually at least 3 of them involve Mia somehow. And so without her, now you're trying to set up other people that may not be as consistent or, maybe as proficient in that role or where I feel comfortable. And that's been the biggest, I think, difference. That's one less 3-point shooter on the perimeter. might help us in some ways. You know, Sophia played a little at the 4, so we've become a little bit better defensively because usually, you know, that means AT's playing a little more, or Ari or Avery, some of our better defenders. So, but it'll be good to have her back. We're hoping that she comes back on Sunday. That's our hope. She was moving around and doing some stuff today. I think it's still questionable, but I think she's definitely going to be back for the Big Ten tournament, which is kind of what we're shooting for. And it just makes us better all around. She's a good player, solid on the boards, is a good help defender, and obviously can stretch the defense.
Is it a knee?
It is a knee.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That I can say, correct?
Sure.
That I can say, yeah.
What's Estera giving you? I know you split the road trip, but two really strong games for her off the bench. It feels like she's found a little bit of confidence here.
I'm sorry.
Estera.
Estera.
Estera, sorry.
Yeah, I think, you know, she's just a gamer, you know, and I think she does such a good job of moving the basketball. I think she manages the game really well and then can knock down shots. She's got the little floater. I think it's just opportunity. You know, she's had a little bit more opportunity to play, and, you know, she's making the most of it. Again, senior, her career's coming to an end, and, you know, sometimes they just get a little bit more motivated, but she's doing it in practice as well. She's earned the time, no question. And I think she can be a real X factor. You know, she's capable of getting you know, 12 to 18 points in any given game. And if we're not shooting well, she's been one of our most consistent three-point shooters. Yeah, but just another good ball handler. And as you notice, we've played her and Katie together a lot. And just, I think it's helping out.
Do you think that helps Katie a little bit too, just kind of moving the ball around and not having her kind of laser focused, or sometimes you said she tries to do a little bit too much, so having kind of another ball handler in there to set things up might help her a little bit?
No question. Yeah, just to give her a rest. You know, if a team picks us up full court, at least, you know, AT can handle that, and we can play Katie off the ball a little bit and rest her from time to time. Plus, after the initial action in your offense, you know, it comes back to Katie. Now, she can make a play within the you know, the rhythm of the offense and not always initiating it. So, yeah, it helps in a lot of different ways.
To ask you about a Heese.
Very astute right there. Good question.
I was going to ask you about a Heese and free throw numbers, just because I think 2 of the last 3 games has been double digits, and those are both coming in wins. Just what's the key of getting her involved and making sure she's, I guess, assertive down there and willing to take that contact?
Yeah, you know, she's the fact that she's drawing just so many fouls, that's a skill in and of itself. And she's putting other teams, big guys, in foul trouble, which is amazing. Where she's struggling a little bit, she can overpower kind of thinner, even taller inside kids. And so she can do her business around the hoop. But when she gets against bigger, stronger kids, which she did this week, even though she had good numbers against Indiana, she can struggle a little bit. And she struggled up at UW when we played them, because they have big, strong inside kids that are also long. So then we try to bring her out and face the hoop a little bit. So get her the ball 10 to 15 feet away, sometimes right there at the high post, and let her create. She's a willing passer. So when she draws help as she's driving, she can make plays. So she's just really blossoming as a well-rounded player. She truly is.
What do you feel like are some of the keys? Obviously, last time against Washington, worst offensive game of the year. What are the keys?
For both of us.
For both, 51 and 43 points.
I told the team today, I had an assistant coach that played for the Spanish national team, and they were in an international tournament one time, and I think they're playing maybe the Netherlands or somebody, and neither team, you know, because you play pool play, and then you move on to a bracketed tournament, right? Well, both teams wanted to avoid the Americans. Whoever won the game had to play the United States. They both tried to lose the game. He was telling me the whole story, and it was so funny. Like, the team would come down and they just throw it to air, out of bounds, and then the other team would come down and airball a 3. And it was obvious both teams trying to lose the game. The referee had to stop the game, brought the 2 coaches together, and said, unacceptable. And they thought about just canceling the game. And so I was telling the team that I thought the last time we played the Huskies, it looked like both teams were trying to avoid the Americans and just, I mean, neither team could make a basket. Neither team could throw it to the right team, et cetera, and that's what it looked like. So I anticipate that both teams will play a little bit better offensively, but to the credit of the defense, I thought both defenses were on point. We didn't get beat on a backdoor cut, which is something that they really rely on, one time in the entire game. In fact, we got a lot of steals on those plays. So we were on point defensively. We just couldn't buy a bucket. I think our 4 leading scores were like 6 of 39 from the field. Where you're not going to beat anybody. You couldn't beat the intramural team with you guys shooting like that. So and they weren't much better. Obviously, they were better. They ended up winning, but I anticipate we'll have a cleaner game, a better game. And at the same time, just as a competitive a game as it was up there.
It's kind of big picture, but you guys have had the 3 double-digit comebacks. You also had several games where you've had big leads and blown them and then ended up winning them later, like the Illinois game. How have you just dealt with, I think the Washington game too, they were up by double digits and you came back. So how have you kind of dealt with just the roller coasters of individual games?
Yeah, and I talked to him again on this road trip, and during our team meetings. I think our biggest weakness this year has been our inconsistency. And it shows up game to game. It shows up within games. We'll have a great quarter. Like we'll get 29 one quarter and 5 the next. It's just like, whoa, how does this happen? And just, it's something we battled all year. But the great thing is our kids know that regardless of the score, we've got a chance. And we'll make it a game at some point. But that also, as a coach, just drives you nuts. And just hopefully we can figure it out and just play more consistent basketball. That's why I like the Purdue game. We were consistent all 4 quarters at both ends of the court, and that's what we need. We need just more of that.
Coach, I hate to
Yes,
harp
sir.
on the seeding because it's such it's a key detail in March, but it's such a minute detail when you're still in the season. But when you say like a win could mean another seed line, that puts a lot of pressure. I feel like that could put a lot of pressure on the team. How do you make sure that they don't make this game bigger than what it could be, or bigger than what it is? I guess?
Well, this is the biggest game of the year, so hopefully they understand that. I don't think we're putting any pressure on. I think, like I said, I don't think it hurts you. I don't think you lose seed spots, but I think you can gain them by quality. Because now every win you get, especially if you get that first round bye, is a quality win against an NCAA tournament team. That's where I say you can move up. If we for some reason lose that game, I don't think, oh well, you lost it. You're losing a seed line. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I hope our kids are jacked up. I mean, this is the biggest game of the year. I mean, we can jump 3 spots in the Big Ten tournament just with a win. So. I don't think that's lost on them. I don't think by how we looked today, they looked loose, had fun, and we were executing. So I like where we're at.